Hey, 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 back home. Oh, my clock broke, it fell off the wall, but it's like 9:30 or something. Um, my house is a mess. I'm sick as hell. I have anxiety because my house is so messy. I hate a messy house, but it has to get cleaned because this is so bad. I keep putting it off. I wanted to touch on what is up lately. So I don't know how I've made it this far in business. Let me put this aside for a second. I'll talk about that in a second. I don't know how I made it this far in business without one of these, which is a printer. Okay, and this is a printer, faxer, scanner, copy, and web. So I can make copies, I can print double-sided, whatever. And for whatever reason, I thought printers were more expensive. This was $100, dude. It was, I mean, I think originally it was like 180, and it went on sale for 99 bucks. So I scooped that up. I was at Best Buy looking at computers. I held off on the computer for now, though. But anyway, uh, I got one of these, and I'm super stoked. So I got the laptop and my phone, and it's wireless. Keep that. That's important. This is a wireless, so I could literally I downloaded the Microsoft Word app on my phone. It's a free app, and I've been printing stuff up like crazy. And it's like, dude, how have I made it so far without this? Like, there was no hope for employees. There was no hope for employees sticking around without a printer and being able to print up my own type of documents and instructions and what have you. So, and this is all a rough draft type system that I've been brainstorming. But basically, there's a lot of systems that I'm going to be Im, Im, incorporating. I think it's incorporating into my business. And this is just a couple I've created, staying up late over the weekend and whatnot. This one is the crew lead script. So each crew leader is going to have a folder, a yellow legal pad. Got to buy the big 10 packs of them. They'll have a folder, a yellow legal pad, and all of the little system scripts in there. This one that I have here is the crew lead script, so it shows how I want every single job to be done. This is kind of just the script on how to. This is just, it is two-sided. The script on what I want done the minute you pull up to a job, how I want them to interact with the customer. So I'll read it off really quick. Stay with me. Crew leader script. So review job description, make sure you have the client's name correct, and bring a clipboard, booties, and business card with you. Tell the crew what we are here to do today and tell them to start setting up and getting things ready. Walk up to the front door and ring the doorbell / knock on the door and take a step or two back. We don't want to be right at the front door. It can be intimidating. You just don't want to be like right on top of them, like trying to get into the house instantly. So, and then you just kind of sit back and wait for them to come to the door. So I said, for example, let's call this client Sue, and the crew leader is John because my name is John, and coincidentally another employee's name is John. So this is just like a sample conversation, like an ideal way the conversation usually goes. John, or I don't know how to read this. So, hi Sue. That's how she when she opens the door. Hi Sue. Yes. I'm John with Wally's Professional Services. Do I have permission to come inside? Sure, of course. Great. So, from my understanding, we're here today to do a premium window cleaning and a house wash today. Is that correct? Yes, it is. Awesome. We are getting the screens cleaned today. Also, correct? Now that's a question I throw in there because I actually charge extra for screen cleaning. I just do this because I found certain homes. It's hard to like include the screen cleaning in the estimates because I don't get close enough to like count which windows have screens, and certain homes have like very like random screens because certain people like to not have screens because it's easier to look out the window. So there's like, it's easier to price the screens as an upcharge after the fact, $3 per screen. So anyway, awesome, and we're getting the screens cleaned today. Also, is that correct? That is correct. Then I say, okay, great. So let me give you a quick rundown of how this is going to go. Right now, I have my crew getting set up. We're gonna go through and pop out all of your screens while someone else starts with the house wash. As long as we don't come across any issues, I'm estimating this will be here about 4 hours. I will touch base with you about halfway through, and again once we are done. I'll also offer to do a walk around before we take off. Sound good? Sounds good to me. All right, great. So did you have any questions for me? Do you feel like there's anything we should know or be aware of before we start? Nope, nothing I can think of. All right, awesome, Sue. One last thing. I want you to know we do have a couple goals in mind today. One is to earn a referral from you. Everyone has a friend or family member who could benefit from our services. And the second goal would be to earn a positive 5-star review on one of our online platforms, such as Google or Facebook. Easy enough, right? I will check back with you when we are all done and see if we are able to meet our goals. And of course, if you need anything along the way, please do not hesitate to ask me. All right, great. And then Sue says, okay, great, thank you. And then I also put a little note in there. It's okay to communicate with clients and connect. Find anything you connect with. Maybe they have dogs. Talk about how much you love dogs. Maybe they like sports. Talk about sports. If you have nothing, maybe ask them how long they've lived in the area. There's always something you can talk about. You do not have to have a big 30-minute convo, but if you can connect and have a small 1 to 5 minute conversation, it will create a lifelong customer. Also, do what you say you will do. Check in with them about halfway. Don't forget about that. Offer to do a walkthrough, a walk around, and inspect the work once it's done. Share notes you may have taken when noticing damages, and just say you wouldn't have felt right if you didn't bring it to their attention. I like to say that because sometimes I go around and I start noticing every little damage, and sometimes I get a vibe that they're almost offended. Like they're like, yeah, you know, and you kind of like calling them out like, hey, you're a shitty homeowner or something. So I just kind of say like, hey, you know, I just wanted to make note of that. I just wanted you to be aware in case you weren't already aware. No big deal, you know. All right. And then the power washing. This is another system I created for the power washing. So you guys might be interested in this one. Follow the crew leader's script. Okay, number 1, follow the crew leader script first. Also remind client to lock all of their windows. After introduction, with your clipboard, walk around the property and note of any and all damages. It's important that we note this stuff before we actually start working. Take photos of the damages and email photos to wallysproservices@gmail.com, either right away or at the end of the day. Title the email subject first and last name damages. If you spot any new damages that were not already listed from doing the estimate, you will need to go to the customer right away with the damages report and explain what you noticed and have her sign stating that you did tell her about the damages. So that's another system I'll be implicating. I'll be creating a damages report spreadsheet just to have a few copies there. So you can just grab a damages report, fill it out, she can sign, everyone's on the same page. Walk around the house, always keep an eye peeled for new damages not listed already. Pull away any furniture, flower pots, or movable items. Keep these items out of the path of a power washing hose. Walk back to the truck and pull out the supply hose and the high pressure hose. Do not connect the supply hose to the power washer yet. Get your 5-gallon buckets, fill one completely with fresh water, and fill the other one halfway. The bucket that is full will be used to make more house wash mix if needed, and you will have, so a full bucket, you will have enough to water for 2 more batches because it's the mix ratio. Here, I'll read it right now. Make your house wash mix using the bucket that is only half full. Add 2 gallons of 12.5 SH and then add 4 to 5 ounces of eliminator to the batch. Stir it up with the downstream injector siphon. The golden rule for eliminator would be 1 ounce per gallon of house wash mix created. So, important. Add the I try to think of everything because we've had issues. So important, add the eliminator last. Also, crush the empty chlorine containers by stepping on them and putting them in an empty box. So I say add the eliminator last because if you add it first, you're just going to have a bunch of bubbles and ruin the batch and it's going to suck. Alright, so then I say turn off the hose, turn off the supply hose or pinch it shut so you can now screw it onto the power washer. Make sure the downstream injector is twisted shut before dropping the siphon into the bucket. Once the injector is shut, then drop the siphon because it will pull chemical. Fill up the gas tank on the power washer, check the oil dipstick and make sure it's about halfway. With the water on and running, grab the high pressure hose and hook it up to your gun if it's not already hooked up. Hold the trigger down for 30 seconds in order to ensure all air is purged out of the system. Make sure the red switch is flipped up, the on position. Open the choke all the way and pull the metal throttle lever about halfway. Keep your finger on the trigger of the power washer gun. Pull the pull cord. It should start right up. Once it's running, turn the choke down and eventually all the way off, and open the throttle lever all the way. Never run a machine unless throttle is all the way open. It will ruin the pump. I'm very sick. So now that the choke is off, throttle is open, machine should be revved up all the way. If you need to turn the machine off, just turn the throttle all the way down and then flip the switch to off. You shouldn't have to touch the choke again for the rest of the day since the machine is warmed up now. Where to start? Start on a shaded area. The side of the house that has the sunlight hitting it should be done at the very end. And you should do that side by itself. It's so important to keep chemical from drying. Start spraying the house top to bottom with fresh water. Once you get comfortable, you'll be able to do multiple sides at once. I suggest doing one side at a time until you get used to it. Make sure you hit all plants and things around that could get hit with overspray. Now that the siding and plants are wet, walk back to the truck and open up the downstream injector. Walk back to the house and start spraying. It takes 10 to 15 seconds before the chemical actually starts to draw. Apply the chemical from the bottom up. Spraying chem from the top down will cause horrible streaking and will create a huge headache trying to fix it. Bottom up is the only way it can be done. Also it helps to get under the lip of the vinyl where green algae grows a lot. Once chem is applied, double check your work. Observe the gutters observe the gutters in really tough areas and maybe apply more chemical to help kill off the organic growth if it isn't already dissolved and dying. Once it looks like everything is killed off, go back to the truck and shut the downstream injector off. Walk back to the house, spray at a window or near the bottom of the house, and watch for fresh water to start coming out. Once you see fresh water, start rinsing from the top to the bottom. The top part needs to be rinsed the best. Rinsing takes the longest out of all 3 steps. We have to be sure everything is rinsed free and clear. Rinse off the windows 2 to 3 times. It's very important chemical is off the glass. Be careful not to spray directly into the edges/seals of the windows. When you get to the last side of the house, instead of turning the downstream injector off to rinse, you will need to drop the siphon into a bucket of fresh water to flush out the system. If this is not done, it will eat up all the components overnight and we will have a ruined machine come tomorrow. It's probably not that serious, but I had to make it sound serious. So they took it serious. Make sure you are spraying off dirt, leaves, sticks, etc. off of their back porch and front porch. It means a lot to the homeowner. After completing the home, inspect the home. Make sure there is nothing that we missed. Also check for bleeders, water, in parentheses, water dripping from weep holes causing weird looking splotches. Fix those by wiping it with a rag or rinsing it with a very light mist. Any really tough spots can be hit with a pump-up sprayer and rinsed with a hose if it's easier that way. Dump the chem along the curb, always in the street. Give it a little rinse to help it towards the drain and rinse out all buckets. Place everything back, reel up the hoses, and go tell the customer you're done. Always offer a walk around. This would be a good time to have your helper passing out door hangers to the neighbors. 5 rounds is always a great rule of thumb. And then I put some notes. Rinse, rinse, and rinse again. Rinsing is the most important part. It takes the longest when doing a house wash. Make sure you hit things from every angle, especially when doing a porch. There is no way around it. You will probably have to have water/bleach drip on you. You're going to have to get under the porch and spray from all angles to ensure a full cleaning. Sodium hypochlorite, parentheses bleach, or SH, is a water-based cleaning agent. When in the right hands, it's completely safe and biodegradable. When rinsed away properly, it breaks down to nothing but salt and water. We are all trained in soft washing, and we use safe ratios and proper cleaning technique to reduce the risk of any accidental spotting. We have never had a spotting complaint, minus the poor rinsing where there's just like, it just needs to be re-rinsed. So that's that. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for sticking with me. That was a long video, I know. I know I'm sick, so hopefully it all came through. Listen, if I know I've been saying I got to make a social media account, such as a Facebook, or I think I'm going to go with Instagram, honestly, just because I don't have one and everybody talks about it, and I want to get on Instagram. So I think I'm going to make an Instagram, um, and then we can communicate that way. Oh, dude, I'm like really bad. Throat's on fire too. Um, yeah, so these are my systems though. And this is something I struggled with the systems things. I didn't even know where to start. But once you get going, once you start being very consistent in your procedure, you can make directions on how you do your procedure, and it's way easier to train someone. This stuff would never be learned by verbally telling my employees, and it took me way too long to realize that. I could tell them over and over, blue in the face, baby them. It just makes them go insane. I'm just showing them the same stuff over and over. They're not gonna learn everything I know by being demonstrated a few times. It took me a lot of trial and error and practice to learn what I've learned. Um, so yeah, I think that's enough for this video. But listen, I mean, just getting started has opened the Pandora's box. I see tons of little areas where I'm going to be creating new systems. For example, the damages report will be a system. I'm also going to have a sign out sheet where we go through a list of questions, basically asking if they've cleaned out the vehicles today. Did we run out of any supplies? Do we need any supplies? Um, did we have any injuries? Did we have any accidents? Was there any issues that need to be addressed? Was anything not completed for whatever, just all these questions that need to be asked. We're going to have a sign out sheet, and it's also going to help keep track of their time, their clock in and clock out, because I'm going to have it wrote in. I'm going to write it in by hand in case there's any type of malfunction with the time and clock, because sometimes employees mess up with the clock where they clock out too soon, or they overlap something, or what have you. So at least we'll have a backup to go off of. Just an area for notes. Things happen, and you just need an area to take notes. So, rock on. Starting to feel like the real deal, baby. This is the stuff that needs to happen in business, and it's a shame that it's impressive that I made it where I'm at without this stuff in place, but it's time that this needs to be done and executed, and I'm excited about it, and I'm just bummed that it's this far in the season before I finally pulled my head out my ass. But hey, there's always next season. All right, guys, I'm gonna get this video uploaded. I wanted to say something else. Just drop a comment. Drop a comment. Tell me what you think about that. Tell me if you think of any little areas that this could use a tweaking, where there's something you thought of that I forgot. Yeah, I'm always, this channel is for help. So I need, like I was saying, I need to create the Instagram or something, and then we can message and stuff, and I can maybe throw up rough drafts of systems and stuff. But like I said, you really got to make these systems your way. All right, guys, subscribe, like the channel. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers. I'm trying to think of a badass video to do for 1,000 subscribers. I can't believe it's been growing the way it has. And much love to all y'all, man. Happy washing.